All right, good morning, old school Texas Tech. It is a bye week for the Red Raiders, but Red and I are still going to do our picks for the other Big 12 games. Excuse me. So we're going to go ahead and take care of that. How are you doing, Red?
Good, man. I can't complain. It's nice to have a bye week. Barron's broken leg probably needs it. So, hey, let's take
Yeah.
it's
Uh,
fun. It's fun to watch other teams and not have a major rooting interest.
yeah,
And
I did see some crazy scenario where we could clinch today, but I'm not even going to talk about it because really we just need to win, take care of business in Morgantown next week. I think it involves Arizona. I know it involves Arizona State losing is one of the chips. There's like two or three chips that have to fall for us to. I think it's Arizona State losing and BYU winning. I think would actually, believe it or not, would actually clinch it because that would knock Cincinnati out.
I
Maybe
don't want
some
to do anything.
Utah, but I'm not sure.
My thought is I hope we don't clinch today. Just use it as more ammo for next week.
Yeah, I think we'll be ready to play knowing what's at stake next week. Um,
Yeah, I
we've
don't.
survived. We've survived most of the trap. The only trap game we didn't survive was I don't know if you call Arizona State a trap game, but that K State game was a major trap game that we survived that one. That one really concerned me.
Well, the two things news wise that blows me away is it looks like Arizona State's QB, that Sam Levitt, wants to jump schools again. This will be his third school in 3 years, I think.
Yeah,
It may not be quite that. And maybe, no, maybe it's because he's at Arizona State for two. Yeah, it would be. And then the Lane Kiffin to LSU stuff. I was like, wow, what a mess.
yeah, and the AD of Ole Miss just released a statement I saw.
He's
So
out there. He's not going to be. He's leaving before the playoff even starts. It looks like I have a problem with that, and that's weird to me.
yeah, we'll see what happens. He's always kind of a wild card.
Yeah. All right, let's get. I'm ready to get into the games, man. Let's talk about it.
Okay, let's talk about the games. First one's Kansas. I don't have times on these games. I'm sorry, but I
Oh,
have
that's fine. That's fine.
Kansas at Iowa State. Iowa State's favored by 3.5
Kansas at Iowa State.
at
Huh.
Iowa State. They both are, I believe, they're both 3-4 in the Big 12.
Interesting. I still haven't seen Iowa State play this year.
I
I,
haven't either. I haven't either.
it's weird to me because I know that they feel like they're about equivalent, and a 3.5 point spread by
Yeah,
Vegas puts them pretty close to being even.
yeah. There's a couple difficult games to pick this week.
This will be one of those difficult ones. I'm going to go with Kansas on. I'm going to break up the monotony. I'm going to say Kansas on this one.
Okay. Okay, cool. Baylor at Arizona. Arizona is 6.5 point favorites. Baylor has now parted ways with their athletic director, but they have also just announced that no matter what happens the rest of the year, that Dave Aranda's coming back.
Man, if I'm a coach down the road, Baylor has an unbelievable amount of patience for their coaches, don't they?
They do. Their fans do not have an unbelievable amount of
Yeah,
patience for them.
that's fair. That's fair. I was surprised to see that. I'm going to go with Arizona. I think Arizona's going to beat the brakes off of them.
Okay, very good. Kansas State at Utah. Utah's 16.5 point favorites in this game.
Kansas State at Utah.
Yeah.
Oh boy, Utah. I mean, there's a part of me that thinks that Utah is the second best team in the Big 12. If I'm being honest,
I think you can make a valid argument for that.
Even though BYU beat them head to head, I mean Utah's going to win. I think Utah will beat K State very comfortably.
If Utah had played BYU in Salt Lake City, I believe that's where their campus is, right? Uh, if it had been a home game for Utah, I think Utah probably would have won.
Makes sense.
Yeah. All right, this one's a really tough one to pick, in my opinion. TCU at Houston. Houston's a
Ah,
1.5 point favorite.
man, I looked at this one last night, and I mean, 1.5 points is so much of a toss up. I mean, it's ridiculous. I
Yeah.
was going to go against the grain and pick TCU in this one, but TCU has been having problems and they're on the road. I'm going to go with Houston in this one.
Okay. Oklahoma State at University of Central Florida. These neither of these teams are good this year. In fact, it's actually stunning to see that Central Florida is a 13 and a half point favorite.
I was going to say, is this the inaugural Big 12 toilet bowl? Which I mean, they would have,
There have been a few already that have been pretty bad.
if there would have been a toilet bowl in the past, we would have had some Matt Wells teams in that one. Let's be honest.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I would take I Oklahoma State's one of those teams that I will pick their opponent regardless of who it is. If it was
Yeah.
Oklahoma State, it's Stephen F. Austin. I might pick Stephen F. Austin if I'm being serious. Uh,
Okay.
One obviously Central. I think Central Florida is going to roll.
Okay. This is a big game. I guess this would be considered the game of the week in the conference. BYU at Cincinnati. BYU is a 2.5 point favorite.
Yeah, I've thought about this one for a bit too. Cincinnati started out super hot, and I think they've kind of struggled in recent weeks. I think they're like 2-2 in the last four, maybe. I don't know. I'm gonna go with BYU. They know what's at stake. They're trying to get to the Big 12 championship. They're gonna
Yeah.
beat Cincinnati.
Okay. Then the last one, Arizona State at Colorado in Boulder with everything that's going on with Dion,
uh,
Coach Sanders.
Arizona State at Colorado. This is an easy one. I'm going Arizona State.
Okay.
Colorado
All
is
right.
massive dumpster fire, dude.
All right. Well, our my one game advantage, one way or the other, is gonna change next week because we have a couple different picks. I'm taking Iowa State to beat Kansas for no other reason than the fact that they're the home team, and I just wasn't that blown away by. I thought Kansas played us well for a little while, but I just the whole thing with the coach at the end, I just I like Iowa State to win this game. Baylor at Arizona, I think this could be a little bit of a tricky one because all the players and everybody thought they were going to be gone pretty much, and then they find out what was either yesterday. It was like yesterday or the day before that Randa's coming back, and so probably a lot of the players are, feeling a little more settled in. So I thought gave some thought to picking Baylor, but I'm actually going to take Arizona. I think they're just a little bit too good for Baylor. From what I've seen of Baylor, their defense is just terrible.
It
Uh,
is.
Kansas State at Utah, that's an easy one. Utah easily wins that game. I'm taking TCU to beat Houston. I'm not sold on Houston being that great, and TCU has lost two in a row, so I think they're gonna want to bounce back. I know they're having some problems down there, but I feel like they'll probably bounce back. OK State at University of Central Florida. I'm definitely taking Central Florida, but who knows? Both those teams are so bad, but I think Central Florida's at least got like a permanent coach in place and stuff. Taking BYU over Cincinnati. I just think BYU is a tougher team. I think BYU is either the second or third best team in the conference, and then I'm taking Arizona State to beat Colorado. But you never know about Colorado. They're just they've kind of been a wild card, mostly a dumpster fire, but they've come out and played a couple of decent games. So you never know. But I'm going to take Arizona State in that one.
Do you think Colorado's going to fire Dion at the end of the year? I've been seeing that chatter. What do you
I
think?
don't. They are getting apparently they're that athletic director that hired him. What's his name? Like Rick George or something like that.
Not entirely sure.
I think he's on his way out. So Dion will probably have a new athletic director next season. So
I think firing him would be premature as well because if you think about it, I always remember they were 1-10 the year before he got there.
yeah,
Yeah, he went like 4-8, and then he had the good season last year, and then he's had not a good one this year. But I was like, it's Colorado's. Pardon me, got major issues. I'd give him more time as well.
I think he's gonna have to make some major adjustments with the coaching staff, and then see what he can do in the portal.
I think Baylor's probably smart. Hey, I bet deep down they just don't want to jump in the fray with like 12 other schools opening right now or having openings. And they
My
just
understanding is my understanding from watching another podcast. So these opinions are not my own, but just kind of an exchange I watched. Is that Eric Morris is interested in either the Oklahoma State or the Baylor job, but he apparently, according to somebody, he had more interest in the Baylor job than the Oklahoma State job, and so I guess some Baylor fans feel like they might be missing out on a chance for him. And I also understand that UNT athletic director is a candidate for the Baylor AD job. So who knows what's but the president of the university already said he's coming back next year. So and also Eric Morris may decide to stay at North Texas for another season. I think they're going to give him a pretty big raise.
yeah, you know a lot more about all that than I do. I had no
Yeah.
idea Eric Morris was interested in possibly Baylor or Oklahoma State. I'd probably go to Baylor if I'm him too, instead of Oklahoma State. Because Oklahoma State's a mess right now until they figure out a lot of things.
It all depends on the NIL situation. So I don't know. I don't know which personally I'd probably take the Oklahoma State job over the Baylor job, but
I don't think do they have T Boone Pickens money anymore? I don't think they.
yeah, it did like that's the thing that I don't know about. Like what's every all these schools when they're talking to a candidate like that that's got multiple options, they're going to be the big question is going to be how much can you support the NIL.
Well, the last thing I'll say is this is completely off topic, but speaking of that, Urban Meyer is, in my opinion, one of the best coaches that's ever been around in the last 50 years, maybe ever. He's the closest thing to Nick Saban as there is. And he was poking around apparently at the Penn State job with some interest, and they talked to him, and he had no plan for NIL. So they said, see ya.
Yeah, yeah.
That's rumors. And I mean, that's a big time coach that had no NIL answer. So it's like
Uh,
this is the new landscape, dude.
it's
You know?
changed. Yeah,
Yeah.
and luckily, our school just happened to be on the cutting edge of it. So it's definitely served it's definitely served the Red Raiders well, and hopefully it continues for the rest of the season.
Say, hey, thank you, Mike Leach, for bringing in Cody Campbell.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Well, a lot of good things go back to Leach at Tech for sure.
That's all I got, man.
Yep, that's all I've got too. Everyone enjoy your weekend. I'll get this posted on the Facebook group.
Sounds good, buddy.